Gang stalking is one of those things that at first glance sounds like it can't possibly be real. The idea that someone or a group of people would be systematically harassed, followed, and psychologically tortured in a way that's hard to prove, hard to track, and hard to escape. It sounds like paranoia. And for that reason, it's often dismissed as a mental illness, delusion, schizophrenia, or some form of extreme hypervigilance. But if you take the time to actually listen to people who talk about it, not just the memes, not the jokes, not the dismissive takes, but the actual lived experiences, a pattern starts to form. Different people from different places saying the same things, using the same language, describing the same tactics. And the deeper you look, the more you realize, even if it's not happening in the exact way they describe, something is happening. So let's talk about what gang stalking really is. Not the sensational version, but the layered reality of it. What is gang stalking? At its core, gang stalking is the belief or the experience that you're being watched, followed, harassed, or interfered with in a coordinated, sustained way by multiple people. It's not just one person messing with you, it's a system, a network. It feels organized, intentional, and cruelly invisible. This can show up in different forms. A few of the most common ones. One, orchestrated social encounters, aka street theater. This is where people feel like their interactions in public are staged, like the people around them are acting out a script, pretending to be random strangers, but they're not. They're part of the act, part of the intimidation. Example, you're at a coffee shop. Someone sits behind you and starts having a conversation that weirdly mirrors your private life. They mention details that nobody should know. The next person who walks in bumps into you, doesn't apologize, stares at you a little too long. Then you leave and you see a car drive by slowly, windows down, people inside looking directly at you, Isloft smirking. It sounds minor, maybe even explainable, but it happens again and again and again. Eventually, it stops feeling like coincidence, and it doesn't matter if it's real or not, it feels real. That's the trap. 2. Digital harassment. This is where the surveillance moves online. People who believe they're being gang stalked often report their phones acting strange, conversations being repeated back to them, or personal information being leaked or used against them. It's like their entire digital life has been infiltrated. Examples. You send a text to a friend about something specific, and later that day, strangers online seem to be referencing it indirectly. You notice your emails being read before you open them, or they're marked unread when you know you didn't open them yet. Your phone lights up at odd hours, or apps open and close without you doing anything. A private photo is leaked, or an old post is used to humiliate or discredit you. This isn't just trolling, it feels like targeted digital warfare, and sometimes it's tied to bigger systems, like data mining, facial recognition, or predictive policing. 3. Noise campaigns. These are repeated, intentionally disruptive sounds meant to create agitation. It could be construction outside your window every single day, or loud knocking from neighbors at the same time every night. Car alarms, dogs barking, sirens. Always when you're trying to rest, concentrate, or heal. Example, you try to meditate and a motorcycle revs its engine right outside your window. You change locations, it happens again. You move cities, and somehow the pattern continues. It's the noise itself, it's the timing. That's what starts to break people down. That's what starts people down. Sabotage, social isolation. People report losing jobs, friends, or family relationships after being targeted. Things go wrong for no reason. Reputations get damaged without explanation. People around them start acting strange, distant, paranoid. It's like someone is poisoning their life behind the scenes. Example, you apply for a job and everything's going well. But right before the final interview, the energy shifts. The employer suddenly becomes cold or cancel the opportunity altogether. A friend you've known for years starts treating you like a threat. People avoid your eyes, or you overhear whispers, conversations about you that you were never meant to hear. Psychological layer, what's really happening inside. When someone goes through this repeatedly, it changes their brain. The constant stress, the unpredictability, the loss of control, it rewires how they interpret the world. They enter a state of hypervigilance. Fight or flight becomes a daily baseline. Sleep disappears. Joy fades. Everything becomes suspicious. And here's the thing. Whether it's truly happening or not, the psychological experience is real. That's why gang stalking is so hard to talk about, because if someone feels like they're being hunted, the trauma they experience is real, even if the source is unseen or denied. Psychoanalytic layer, the unseen mind. On a deeper level, some believe that gang stalking represents a fragmentation of the psyche, a war between the conscious self and the unconscious self, the part of you that wants to grow, expand, and heal, versus the part of you that still believes you deserve punishment, shame, or exile. In this framework, the stalkers are symbolic. They're a reflection of inner wounds manifesting externally. That doesn't mean they're imaginary. It means they might be energetically created by an unresolved inner world, especially if someone has a trauma history or has been violated by institutions before. Historical and real-world precedent. Gang stalking doesn't exist in a vacuum. There are real-world programs that have mirrored these tactics. COINTELPRO FBI. Black activists were followed, discredited, and psychologically broken down. Phone taps, false rumors, infiltrators in their inner circles. The goal was to neutralize and destroy. Stasi, East Germany. A program called Zersetzung focused on psychological warfare. Agents would break into homes and move things around, change the time on clocks, open drawers. The goal was to make the target question their sanity and feel completely alone. So when people describe gang stalking today, it's not just fantasy. It has historical roots in state-sponsored oppression. Energetic, spiritual perspective. In spiritual terms, some believe that people being gang stalked are light carriers or chosen souls, people with high vibration who threaten the control systems. In that context, gang stalking becomes a spiritual war. Some say entities, physical or not, feed off the fear, paranoia, and emotional exhaustion it creates. They need the target to break down, isolate, or give up. And when that person rises instead of folds, they often become powerful beyond measure. So the attacks increase. From this lens, gang stalking isn't just harassment, it's a test of will, identity, and spiritual sovereignty. Why it's dismissed so easily? Because it's invisible, because it's hard to prove, because it makes you sound crazy. It's the perfect crime, and it thrives in silence. That's why when people speak out, they're often met with laughter, doubt, or accusations of mental illness. But the ones who've lived it don't laugh. They describe it like a slow spiritual assassination. And the scariest part, the world around them keeps telling them it's all in their head.